Good morning. This is Carlos Samaniego. Today is Monday, February 24, 2025. It has been a long time since I've been here. Super excited to kind of jump on Facebook. Many of you guys have probably been wondering where the heck has been Carlos? He hasn't done any live YouTube videos. I have been doing a lot of podcasts, a lot of guest podcasting. I think just in the last few months, I've done close to 13 guest podcasts. A lot of people asking about what's going on with the IRS, all the craziness and chaos with the news that's coming out, everything from IRS agents being fired to um, literally the IRS being wiped out. That was the most recent news that the new administration is thinking about trying to figure out how to wipe out the IRS and not have an income tax. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So because it's been so long, I'm getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. I'm getting a lot of letters from the IRS. There's a lot going on. And I thought maybe what I need to be doing is getting on here on a weekly basis to basically talk about, what's happening with the IRS and what's happening with the state, what's happening with collections and what it means to you specifically dealing with IRS or state tax issues. First of all, the most important thing that you need to understand, and it's extremely important, despite what you may have heard, the IRS is very much still active when it comes to collections, and they're still coming after people for money that's past due. Just in the last couple of months, we've seen a dramatic increase in automation notices, bank levies, and wage garnishments starting to happen. They haven't stopped, even though you may be watching the news and hearing everything from people being laid off, IRS agents being laid off to, and again, as I mentioned earlier, to the elimination of the IRS. I want to let you know that the IRS isn't slowing down when it comes to collections. Now, they may not have the money that they thought they were going to have to modernize their systems. They may not be hiring. I know for a fact they're not hiring more revenue officers right now. In fact, they have laid off quite a few, specifically 7,000 people across the country. I've had multiple revenue officers, IRS offer and compromise examiners call me up specifically to tell me that my case was being reassigned to somebody else, that they're no longer going to be there, whether they were fired or they decided to take the layoff. It was the deal for you. If you decided to leave early, they would pay you to the rest of the year. I already forgot what it's called. So, but bottom line is that there's going to be less people helping. And me and my good buddy, Eric Green, attorney out of Connecticut, founder of the Tax Prep Network, we did a whole podcast on that. And in fact, you can find it below. Go look at my YouTube videos. You'll see the link for the YouTube. Actually, I'm going to put the actual link in the description of that podcast we did and what his take was on it. So the second thing I need you to know, state tax agencies like California Franchise Tax Board, or as I commonly refer to them as Cali Claw, they are getting more and more aggressive than ever. They're not waiting for the IRS, and they're taking action now. They're placing liens. They're going levies. I always tell people, you got to understand, the IRS can print money. The state of California cannot print its own money. It has to collect the revenue that's owed to them, or they believe that's owed to them. And if you're in a state that's not California, states like Illinois, the states that basically have an income tax, I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same way. They're going to still continue to be very aggressive when it comes down to collection. And third, here's a very crucial thing you need to understand. If you owe money to the IRS or to the state, penalties and interest continue to grow every single day. I recently worked with somebody that when they got their tax bill at $50,000, it grew to $73,000 over 18 months. It grows pretty quickly. Remember, it's penalties and interest and penalties, and there's interest on the penalties. So it compounds dramatically. But here's some very good news. If you want to know kind of is there any good news out of all this? That there's still opportunities to resolve your tax debt. I just had a client, a single mom out of Los Angeles, that had a 50,000 plus tax bill. And initially we had submitted an offer. The IRS turned around and denied the offer. We appealed the offer and came back, and she's paying roughly 10 cents on the dollar for that debt, around $5,000 for her 50,000 plus tax debt. There's still offers to be made with the IRS. And we're seeing people right now who have favorable terms, that we're coming up with some really good terms for them because of the situation they're in. And this brings up something that's very important. There are thousands upon thousands of people right now being laid throughout the country, being laid off. Federal employees, we're here. I'm seeing it on the news on a daily basis. I do a newsletter called Income Unchained for small business owners, incomeunchained.com. If you're not getting that newsletter, definitely get that newsletter. But I'm talking about there's a lot of layoffs happening. Well, here's the thing. If you owe money to the IRS and you're no longer working or are not earning the money that you used to earn, there is a possibility for us to help you with very favorable terms because of the current situation that you're in. So these are things that you need to be aware of. And I'm hoping, and my plan is to come here on a weekly basis, not be so video elusive here the last few months. It's not that I don't want to do them. I've been doing a lot of email updates to my list. And if you're not on my list, I just posted the link here on the image below here. Get on my list. Get on that list so you can get my my almost daily updates on what's happening with the IRS. It's a great place to be. Make sure you're getting those emails. But if you're not getting those emails, my plan is to at least try to get on here on a weekly basis to kind of keep you updated. The most important thing you guys need to know right now, especially if you owe taxes or have unfiled tax returns. One, don't ignore the IRS notices or the state notices that you get. I know I just had a couple that I got to get ready to open up. The girl at the front desk just told me there's about 20 more that just came in for this morning. So here's the thing. Do not ignore those IRS or state notices. Two, you know what? If you're a small business owner, make sure you're documenting all your income and all your expenses. If you don't have if you haven't filed all your returns, make sure at least the last 3 years of tax returns are done. Give us a call if you got more than 3 years of tax returns that need to get done. Let's gather that information because we need to get you compliant. Bottom line is that if you owe money, the IRS wants you compliant to deal with that past due tax debt, and you need to get professional help. If you owe money to the IRS or to the state and you've been ignoring it for years, you need to get professional help. If you'd like to talk to me, we do a 30-minute, no obligation tax debt analysis. I listen to you to find out exactly what's going on with your situation. And at least I can give you a plan, a roadmap. I'm looking for that word. We can give you a roadmap of what you need to do. And that's what I do. I tell people, I don't sell you nothing when we get on our phone call. My goal is just to listen to you, to listen to your problem, give you a roadmap. And if you want to work with me, great. If you want to try to figure this out yourself, great. There is no hard sales push for anything. This ultimately falls onto you. And remember, waiting only makes your situation worse. Every day that you delay is another day penalties and interest are adding up. It's not going to go away. And as much as I guess we could all say we would love for the government to get rid of the IRS. You know what? And if it happens, it may happen. We don't know. Problem is, it may take years. It may take years for that to happen. These notices, when you get these notices, you got typically days, weeks, if anything, maybe a couple of months to respond. you don't have time to wait for the IRS to be wiped out, because they will come after your money. They will come after your bank account. And they will come after your paychecks. And hopefully you have a paycheck and not being laid off. So, I'm going to come back here next week. Hopefully there's no other more crazy news that's happening, but I'm here to help you as much as possible. If you're watching this for the first time, my name is Carlos, Tax Debt Consultants. You can learn all about me. And if you want to book that appointment, look at the screen below. You can actually book an appointment at calltaxea.com to book that no cost 30-minute consultation, tax debt analysis, where I just listen to you on what your situation is. So, and definitely, if you want to call, feel free to reach out to us at 909-570-1103. With that, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye for now.